Okay, welcome to She Leads Confidently. I'm Karen Barno, your host, and my guest today is ShaRon Rae, the founder of No Judgment, Just Love. What a phenomenal name. We got to ask where that came from. She's a compassionate and visionary woman who has dedicated her life embodying empathy, understanding, and acceptance in her community and with everyone she meets. She walks the walk, y'all. She has a profound belief in the transformative power of love and compassion and is known by many to be a beacon of hope for people craving a safe space free from judgment and discrimination. ShaRon works as a family, life, and communication coach, helping her clients navigate and improve their lives by increasing their communication abilities and overall relationship with themselves and others. ShaRon has a strong business background that encompasses more than 30 years. She started very young. Experience in the fields of education, communication, executive coaching, state and local government, not-for-profits, and public service. Every day with a focused intention, ShaRon inspires us to live together with unconditional allowance, one courageous action and conversation at a time. At the time, she knows that, of course, we all make judgments. That's human. Judgments are not the problem. It's what you do next that matters. And that line, when I read it, I even had to write on there, wow. You have to expand on judgments are not the problem. It's what you do next. That's the matter that matters.
Absolutely, Karen. Thank you so much for having me here. I am excited to explore and share and talk about No Judgment, Just Love.
I love that name. So what do you mean what I take is you're saying it's okay to judge.
Yes.
But it's what you do after you judge that person that will make a difference.
Yes. And that person can be yourself. Because we live in the world through discerning, evaluating, judging. You can replace it with all those words. And should I cross the street now? No, wait, there's a truck coming. That's a judgment. And that's useful and helpful. That person is wearing too tight clothes and I think they look like crap. That's a judgment that you could probably walk that back. And so my goal is to help us just become extremely aware about how we speak about ourselves and how we think about others, how we think about our world, how we think about government, our institutions, and what conclusions we come to, our judgments, and then what we do next. So if you're judging someone because they're yelling or that you don't like their behavior or they've treated you badly, that's appropriate to judge. But what are you going to do with that? Are you going to return it the same way? Are you going to treat them the same way they've treated you? Or are you going to take what I think is the most important thing is a pause? I had that judgment. Now I'm going to pause and literally think about how can I move farther away from a harsh judgment, closer to allowing someone to be who they are. I don't have to interact with them. I don't have to like them. But am I going to talk badly about them to themselves or somebody else? Am I going to treat them badly, or can I just walk away?
I love that. That's interesting. So let's back up a little bit. Now, I should fully disclose, ShaRon and I have known each other for a long time. In fact, we were trying to figure out when we first met. We can't even remember. It's been so long ago. But what made you start No Judgment, Just Love?
It's really a wonderful story, and I'll keep it short because all my life I have wanted to be an entrepreneur. And as you read my background, I've done a lot of different things in a lot of different business areas, but never on my own. So I started the Whole Family Coaching, which is me coaching families through difficult challenges like divorce and raising teenagers and fathers, grandparents. And unbeknownst to me, people said, well, that's a nice name, but you need a tagline for it. I'm like, well, what's a tagline? It's how you want to deliver your message, how you want to do your business. I'm like, oh, okay. And those 4 words just dropped in. I didn't think about them. I didn't try to analyze them. I just heard no judgment, just love. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's big. How do you even do that in the world? And at the time, I had just finished being in New York as a lobbyist. And so government was a little different out here in the West than it was in New York, where
Amen to that. I'm from the East Coast too. Amen.
Holy cannoli, Karen. And so there was a bill, I'm sorry, I don't remember all the details about it because it's been 15 years now, but there was a bill that was introduced that was going to allow businesses to discriminate against a certain group of people. And I thought that was, I had an opinion about which side of that argument I really aligned with and which side I hated. And I thought, if I can find no judgment, just love for this, then I am worthy to carry this message and let it be a tagline, but really more of an intention.
Mhm.
I couldn't find it in just looking in the earthly way. I had to rise up to the highest part of myself, which I call my GPS, my greatest personal shift.
Oh, I love that.
And that is to the soul of me, the higher self of me, the divinity in me. And then I was able to say this thought to myself, Karen, which I invite for everyone to think. Everyone has value, absolutely everyone. And there's no way you can agree with everyone. But when someone speaks something that you abhor or that you hate, that gives you opportunity to find your voice for something you appreciate. And so in that way, they are useful. It is a useful conversation. So I was able to find peace with, okay, I don't like what they're doing, but they deserve their opinion. And then it became my 4-letter tagline: no judgment, just love.
So how are you navigating the rocky roads right now? We're both in politics one way or another, either have been or still are in politics. So we both pay attention to the world of politics and all the things flying back, which is filled with judgment. How are you navigating that, and how are you helping your clients? Because I know mental health is on, mental issues are on the rise because there's just so much divisiveness right now.
Yes, yes. So much is just almost an understatement because we are so bad to each other and ourselves these days. And I think a lot of things. One is we had COVID. And for me, that break, that time could have been a moment, and it probably was for some people, to really be quiet. Let all the noise of the world go away so that you can uncover who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what relationships work for you, what they don't, and then begin differently from before COVID. But I think what happened to many, many people is they didn't embrace that. They just wanted what was. So they didn't take that self-care time to find their balance in their own personal emotion. So just went back out and did the things and found that the world was different. Things were different. I'm not happy. I don't know why I'm not happy. You're in my way. You're frustrating me. And so therein lies the disregard for ourselves and each other.
But do you think it's because when people came out of COVID, because it's funny, because I had a profound experience coming out of COVID, not during COVID, but coming out the other side of COVID. But do you think that people, when they came out of COVID, they didn't know what to do?
Yes.
Because the world had changed, but they were, in their homes or wherever they were hunkered down, and they didn't realize the world changed, and so they got scared, or
I think they got scared, and when you get scared and you don't have a new toolbox to give yourself answers, you go back to what you know, which didn't work anymore. And I don't want to go back to the office. Well, my office is telling me I have to go. So do I quit my job, or how do I quit my job? What do I do then? I don't like this person I've lived with for these years now. It's just really, I want to break this relationship, whether it's children, whether it's husband, whether it's roommate, whether it's pets. But we don't do what I think is missing in our country under the mental health umbrella, which is self-awareness and self-care.
But how do people become, and I'm going to keep interrupting you, I'm sorry. And
no,
it's because
no.
we know each other. So,
Yeah.
I forget, there's I feel like we're sitting at a restaurant for lunch.
We are.
How do you get people who don't have self-awareness, or it doesn't come naturally, or whatever? How do you teach them to become self-aware? What are some tips for that?
Most people get to an edge where, they're just frantic. And when you get to an edge, you're searching for something new. And when they come to me, I am able to help them find the consistent strain in every single thing, and that's you. And I always ask people to do little tiny shifts in your day to see how that will help you realize, oh, when I pay attention to me, I have more patience. When I pay attention to me, I realize I don't like broccoli. Why do I keep eating it? Because I've got a habit of doing the things that I do and I don't realize they're not healthy for me. So what I invite people to do is in the morning, before you get out of bed, take 15 seconds and just check in with yourself. Forget about anything you have to do for the day. How do you feel? Do you feel empowered? I'm ready to take on the world. I'm ready to hop out of the bed. Or do you feel, just want to close my eyes and go back to sleep? Because that will inform you how you move around in your day. Can I be in front of Bob, who annoys me every day? No, maybe today I don't interact with him, because that's going to be self-care for me. Do I turn on the television and start yelling at all the politicians that aren't doing? No, maybe I turn on a movie. Do I eat broccoli because I just am a habit? No, maybe I'll try some other vegetable. So that just informs you, but we're quick to forget things. So in the middle of the day, set your watch for whatever your middle of the day is and take another 15 seconds, really not a long time, and find out something different each day that you are grateful for. Where can you shift from annoyance, frustration, anger to gratitude? Because those two things, as you know, Karen, can't exist in the same thought. And then in the evening, some of us do a shower before we go to bed. So we cleanse off all the dirt and grime. Some of us just have tea. So we cleanse ourselves, we clean ourselves. So I'm inviting people to imagine a cleansing shower, a shower of release of everybody's energies that you've taken on throughout the day. So when you go to sleep, it's just you. You're not marinating in other people's junk.
So you're suggesting, well, first of all, if you wake up, and we all wake up in every once in a while in crappy moods. Who knows why? We just wake up and it's like, oh, or you think, for a lot of us women, we think of our schedule and it's like, oh, brother, May. Oh no. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions here.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you change your state right then? Is there ways that you can say, okay, I'm not gonna have this negativity? Then in the afternoon, you're suggesting to just kind of do a gratitude session. And then in the evening, have a routine, whether it's a shower or a cup of tea, to just kind of release it.
Yes, and not just a cup of tea, because those things are external. Okay. I'm trying to get people to recognize the internal, because the internal in you is where you find your mental health. You don't find it outside of yourself as easily as internally. So I'll take your first question. How do you wake up with all of these thoughts going on in your head and to release that so you can find out, how do I really feel? Well, obviously you feel stressed because you're thinking of all those things. Mm-hmm. So it's a very simple thing. Stop. The word stop. STOP, which means stress, time out, please. Well, first thing in the morning. Stress, time out, please. And when you say that, immediately your mind becomes open to a new thought. And we choose every thought we have. I think that's something that we don't remember. We think, oh, somebody made me think this way, or the world is making me. No, 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 no. You have authority over your thoughts. So stop, stress, time out, please. Choose a thought. And that thought could be whatever you like. I'm going to look out the window at the birds. I'm going to remind myself that I woke up. Hello, that's a beautiful thing. And that I get to have all these thoughts, just shift a little bit from the annoyance, frustrated, to the appreciation. And then at night, yes, you can have a ritual of tea or a regular water shower, but I'm inviting you to have an energetic shower. So let's say you interacted with Bob and then you did watch the TV and your kids were bothering you and then you had road rage. Well, all of that, if you didn't release it throughout the day, it's still on you energetically. And so if you just imagine a shower of light, a shower of sprinkles, a shower of glitter going.
Oh, yeah.
and just take all of that away. You'll feel, and you can even do your hands like this. Make a noise. And then relax into your bed and don't marinate in all that. Marinate in you. So now if you do this often, and I'm not saying switch every day you have to do this. No, do it when you remember. And you will see the benefit, which will inspire you to do it more.
Yeah, I really like that. I like that because I'm not the best evening routine person. I have more of a morning routine, but this is kind of digressing, but I was watching 60 Minutes over the weekend, and they had the Chat GPT guy on, the AI guy, the guy that invented Google, whatever. And he was talking about how, the concern about AI taking over the world. And I was listening to him and I sat down, I thought, I could see why AI can, because they don't have the thoughts we have. They don't have the thought of, I can't do this.
Correct.
And also I thought, if we could teach ourselves to not have those thoughts, then we truly would be unstoppable.
Karen,
allow those thoughts to marinate, and we live in that instead of saying, what, I'm going to be a little AI here, and I'm not going to allow that person who, at this moment of time, you want to reach over and say, did you really just say that? I'm just going to realize that I'm not going to allow that to impact me.
Yes, exactly. And I just heard AI could be, I'm all in.
Oh, I love that.
All in. It's just me. I'm all in. So all y'all other thoughts and energies and people and problems, y'all going away while I go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And when I go to sleep, right before I go to sleep, I'm not going to ingest some other stressful thing. I'm not going to watch a stressful movie. I'm not going to watch a scary movie. I'm not going to have an argument with somebody. You can choose that. I know we have something we have to talk about. We're going to do this in the morning because I need my peaceful, all in sleep.
Well, and I like your glitter exercise. Do you have like another exercise? So say somebody's at the office and things are just going south at the office, but they're trying to train themselves not to participate in all the crap. Because now they're all in. Exactly. Is there an exercise that they can do for that to kind of help them step back and say,
absolutely. It's called what is it called? I call it calibrating, but there's another word that's not coming to me right now, but it will be to combine your brain, which is going on overload, and your heart, which is not connected to your brain. So you're calibrating those two things. And all you have to do is take a because nobody will know what you're doing. Just take a deep breath in and imagine yourself going up to your brain, because your brain does not get energy from food. It gets energy from breath. And often when we're stressed and annoyed, we're not breathing. Mm-hmm. We're not taking in a deep breath. So you take in a deep breath, and you can use your hand if nobody's watching you. And I'm breathing in. Close your eyes if you like. Giving my brain energy. And then when you exhale, center down in your heart. And you can even use your hand and give yourself another 10 seconds to just be there. And imagine the road, the line, the connection between your brain and your heart getting into sync. And then open your eyes and see how you feel and see then now you can choose. Do I want to take in that was frustrating me? Or can I give myself permission to step back? That's your boss and you have to. Now you come with a different perspective. If you don't have to, you don't have to. You can make that choice.
But I love the fact that you just said it's your choice. Yes. Because even if it is your boss, I mean, we all have bosses. I've had some bosses that they'll be talking to me and I'll just look at them and think that really just come out of your mouth. But instead of obsessing over it, I've just taught myself, this is their view and they think it's okay. I make the choice not to accept what they're sending.
That's exactly perfect. And that is the essence of no judgment, just love, Karen, because it begins with awareness, which I hope I've shared with your audience. If you are aware of the judgments, the critical judgments, the negative judgments, the harmful to you judgments, if you're aware of them and you can pause and make a choice, a constant choice every day that I'm willing to do something different, whatever that is, whether it's pause, whether it's walk away, whether it's like you said, well, that's just him and I don't have to take it in and leave it with me all day. And then if you did, at night, goodbye, boss.
And now we've talked about, people judging us. What about when because we're all judgy.
Yes.
I just
Yes,
finished
we
our
are.
conference our conference last week. We had like 500 people there. And there are times I'd look and think, you really thought that was the outfit to wear, huh?
Yes.
I thought that looked good. But I mean, how do we give ourselves grace? So afterwards, when you think a bad thought, and that's not really a bad thought, that's more a comical thought. But when you think about, you look at something, you think something that's not nice, how do you give yourself grace to say, you know what, I probably shouldn't have thought that. Now I feel bad about it.
Well, the first thing is please don't feel bad about it, because there's no judging on the judge. There's no judgment on the judging, because we all judge all the time. So believe me, I'm human. I have judgments about people like, what the heck were you thinking? How do you even say that out loud? I was watching this guy, a black man, talk about how women were just terrible. I was like, okay, and I had it, but I didn't yell at the television. I didn't yell at him. I allowed myself to have that because there's no judgment on my opinion. I have an opinion, but I said, well, thank you for showing me what I need to rail against. Thank you what I need to have awareness of that's out there so that I can help people understand that perspective doesn't really serve us well.
And you just kind of hit upon something that I forget where I was reading, because I'm a voracious reader, and it was saying that when you see something that angers you or impacts you, it's something that you need within you to heal. That the universe is showing you something you need to heal. Forget about what forget the person. Why did it impact you either so good or so bad?
Karen, that is so perfect. It just happened to me 2 days ago. I don't know who's a Bridgerton fan, but I am. But I'm also finding I cannot watch dramatic things like drama. It just hurts my heart when a character that I've had some liking for is being disregarded or has an uncomfortable place. So people that have watched forward to Bridgerton, I say, can you tell me how it ends so I can come back and watch it? And my girlfriend literally said no. I'm like, I just asked you for accommodation. I told you why not? So now you know I'm judging her in my head. What kind of friend is that?
Exactly. It's like, you're off my friend list.
Exactly. And then she said exactly what you read. ShaRon, I'm sensing that you need to watch this for you. There's something about you that is triggering, that you can't watch a character with drama. Oh, and as soon as she said it, I knew she was right, even though I was mad. Took me a day, but then I watched Bridgerton and I got a little uncomfortable. And Karen, what I realized is I have been disregarded so much in my life that it is painful for me to watch someone else be disregarded.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the reasons why I'm such a fastidious advocate for no judgment, just love, because I know how people feel when they are judged harshly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got myself to watch it and I realized why it was impacting me. And now I'm at peace with that. Now I watched the whole series and I was like, oh my God, this is fun. And I don't know what's coming next. So I think you're right. And that is an excellent takeaway. When something is triggering you and you're angry, if you're aware that everything emanates with you, take your self-care, spend a little moment with yourself in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the evening, so you have the space to go, oh, yeah, that government thing just really ticked me off. Okay, why did it tick me off? What are they doing? And I heard someone say, you want to ask 5 whys to get you to a core. So why did that trigger me? Okay, I found that out. Why is that still an issue? Why did that come to my mind? Why do I feel that way? Give yourself 5 probing questions of why to get down to a core. Now, notice I didn't say the core.
Mhm.
because the core is never finished. So it's just a core for right now.
Yeah, that is so true. And it is true. I mean, but I will say the way we've got to find a better word than trigger.
Yes,
Because
yes,
the word
because
trigger triggers me.
yes,
It's
okay.
because it's like, because as soon as you hear it, it's like, oh, because we've made such a bad connotation of it, that it triggers people just as soon as they say, well, I feel triggered. Well, yeah, because you just used the word trigger.
So you said impact. How does that word feel better to you?
Yeah, how does it impact you? Because then to me, trigger has taken on such a negative connotation that we automatically, because I mean, you can be triggered for good things too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but we don't look at it. We don't say, "Ooh, that was really good. That triggered me." We wait till something, is crap, and we're like, "I'm triggered." So we have to have a campaign to stop using
I'm
it.
on that because, I'm working on reframing, rebranding myself. I still will do the whole family coaching because that's in my heart and people need that. But what I found in the 15 years I've been coaching is that our number one, right behind self-awareness and self-care, thing that fractures our whole country is we do not know how to communicate. We just don't.
Oh, so
We don't
true.
know how to talk within our head. We don't know how to talk with other people. We don't know how to discern. We don't know how to use our words. So I'm on that campaign with you, Karen. Change the word and you change the energy and you change the result.
Yeah, because then you'll listen. I mean, when people say, "Well, that triggered me," I just tune it out because it's like, "Well, that's a you thing."
Yes.
No, I just made a comment. I'm not, it's just again, and I just see so many people when they hear that word, it's almost become an excuse.
Yes.
Triggers, and I had to take the next week off. I'll have to try that. You triggered me, gotta be out for a couple
I'm
days.
out for a week. Yeah, thanks. That was all you.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault, it was your fault. Okay, now, I tried to keep this short. I never do, because whenever you and I talk, we go on and on. So if you had one piece of advice or knowledge or, to call us into one thing, what would you love everybody to know?
You matter.
Ah,
You are valuable and important. You are magnificent. And even if you don't know it, I see it in you. So call me, baby.
we're going to end right there because there's nothing else to say other than that. Everybody, thanks a lot for joining us on today's podcast. ShaRon, how can people get a hold of you?
My email is my name, ShaRonRea, and I'm in Arizona at gmail.com.
Okay, and I will also obviously have it in everything that everybody's reading. But if you have any questions, anything, feel free to reach out to her. To me, this has been so insightful. 30 minutes is not enough time. And I told you we're going to keep it under 20. And I kept looking at the thing saying, I could still sit here for another hour asking questions. But however, we won't. Everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate it. And take care. And here's to you finding your blue rose.